Hi everyone, how are you all? My name is Soumya and I'm currently working and living in Toronto. I've been living in Canada for the past 2.5 years, I would say. And I applied for my US visa back in 2023. I got my approval today. Basically, I had my interview today. I just came back and I thought that since my case was a bit complicated, I would want to share it with all of you and how you can prepare for your interview. But this video is going to be specifically for the interview. What type of questions do they ask, how to prepare for it, and what was my case, what type of visa should you go for, and all these things I'll be covering in this video. So stay tuned. The first one is the B1 B2 visa, which is basically for tourism or business, which I applied for. The second category is F1 visa, which is basically the student visa, and the third one is H1B category, which is work visa. In this video, I'll be talking about the B1 B2 visa, which is the most general one. How I applied for my US visa. I applied for it in 2023. I just filled the online DS-160 form. I paid the fee, the US visa fee. I don't remember how much was it. It was somewhere around $255 when I applied for my visa. And the third step was to book my interview appointment. My US visa appointment initially was for 2025 September, but every night I would log into my US portal to see if any slots are available, if anything is there. And one day I got lucky and I got an early appointment scheduled for December 2024. So yes, a suggestion for all of you. There are a lot of people out there claiming that, we can get you early US visa appointment dates and stuff like that. You don't have to pay to those people. Most of them are scammers, trust me. You can just simply do it yourself. It's not that difficult. If something is available and if you are lucky, you will get it. Now I'll tell you something about my interview and why my case was a bit complicated. I won't say complicated, but my situation was a bit tricky. When I applied for US visa, I was a student back then in 2023. And after that, my study permit got expired, my work visa got expired. The situation was a bit tricky, I suppose, because those officers might think that, she might go to US and settle over there as she does not have her PR yet and she's out of status, she's on an applied status, etc, etc. I was a bit worried, but you don't have to be since you're watching this video. Now I'll tell you about the documents that I took with me for my interview. The first thing is the DS-160 form. It's very important. The second and one of the most important things is your passport. And with that, you have to get your passport sized picture clicked. The size must be 2x2. It's advisable that you take 2 pictures with you. You have to get them clicked within 6 months before your interview, and they must be stamped. It needs to be like this, square shaped, and you need to stamp it. This has the date when I got it clicked. The next and the very, very important document is your proof of status. It could be your study permit, it could be your work permit. I took my permanent residency submission confirmation form. These are the mandatory documents. Apart from that, you also can take some extra documents with you. So I took my expired study permit and work permit as well. And with that, I also took the bookings that I'll be traveling to the States to celebrate New Year. So I just took all the bookings and everything. They were of course refundable, but I booked everything in advance, and taking those was a very smart move. I'll tell you later in the video. With that, I also took my instruction letter. You'll get it in your login portal. Once you log in there, you'll be able to see the instruction letter. So these are some extra documents that I took with me. Now let's move to the interview part and what did they ask me. So for the interview, make sure that you do not carry any kind of bags, any kind of extra stuff with you, because you will not be allowed to bring it in. You will not be allowed to enter with it. So I did not bring a bag or anything, but of course I had my phone. Everyone has their phone. I had my smart watch. So these kind of things are also not allowed. Even keys are not allowed. So there were these locker rooms right beside where I went for the interview. You just are allowed to enter with your documents and nothing else. So there are these counters, like separate counters. You do not directly go for your interview, but in the first counter, they checked my passport and they also checked my proof of status. Then I moved to the second counter where they again checked my passport, my proof of status, and with that, they checked my photo. And the guy was like this. He was looking at me like, if I'm the same person. So once he checked my picture and everything, then I was moved to another counter for my interview. So the questions that the guy asked me were, of course, he asked me about myself, that when did I come to Canada? So I just told him that it's just been 2 years. And he did not ask me what am I doing here since I've landed. I straight away just told him myself that I have a full-time job here and I'm working at this position with this company for the past 2 years. So they get a little bit confidence that okay, this person has a stable job in Canada. If this person go to the US, they will come back. Just for the sake of giving that surety to him, I mentioned about my job and stuff. He did not ask for it though. And then he asked me that why do you want to go to the US? I said that I wanted to celebrate New Year over there. I also showed him all the booking. Everything was going fine until here. And the last question that he asked me was, do you have any family over there in the US? Now, I did not know how to answer this question exactly. But I just told him that yes, I have a cousin sister there. She lives in New York. Now he seemed to be a bit curious. He asked me that, is she a blood relation? How close is your sister? I was like, no, she's a cousin, not blood relation. She's not that close. I mean, she's my father's sister's daughter, basically my aunt's daughter. That's what I told him. And he was like, okay, fine, your visa is approved. I did not prepare for this specific question, but I got to know from some of my friends when I was telling them this story that, I mean, it's advisable that you do not mention about any of your close family members to the visa officer, because then they think that this person might go there and settle down with their family. So you do not mention that, rather than just say that you have some friends there, or you have relatives but they're not that close or something like that. And with that, he handed me this thing. It's basically, since in Toronto Canada Post is on strike, my passport will not be delivered through Canada Post. I have to schedule a premium delivery or something like that. So I can go to the BLS office and collect it, or it will be delivered to my place. So this was it for my procedure. I would want to cover one or two more questions that a lot of people ask and they have doubts about. Some people have this question that when I was filling my DS-160 form, like basically when I was applying for my US visa, I mentioned a different address and now I don't remember it for my interview. So it's okay if you do not remember it. They do not have that data. Even if they do, they're not going to verify it. The officers and everyone are very well aware that the appointment, the interview date is after 2 or 3 years when you apply for your visa. So it's fine if you do not remember it. It's nowhere shown in your DS-160 or in your US visa profile as well. It's just submitted. And then people have this doubt that how early should they reach for their interview. Of course, it's a better option that you are reaching there 30-40 minutes before your interview, but it's fine. Every time there's a lineup right outside the office as well. Mine was 11:45. I was allowed to enter after 11:30. So it's fine if you are reaching there 15 minutes or 20 minutes before your interview. That will not be a problem. So if you are running late or anything like that, do not panic about it. So that's it about the video. If you have any other questions related to it, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, stay tuned, because in the upcoming videos, I'll be telling you about my passport delivery. How long does it take for the passport to get delivered? Thank you so much for watching this video till here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.